Hey everyone, hope you had a wonderful long weekend. Enrico and I are really excited to give you the latest release that went out over the weekend. So quite a bit went into it. We will go through them one by one, and by all means, obviously, would love feedback as we go. But first and foremost, the Services Insight dashboard. So this has been here since the prior release, but what we've done now is we've refactored it that it's going to automatically populate as and when the PSA syncs. So either that is automatically each night, or when you force a sync with the AudioTask system. And this gives you a rundown of all the different services that are against every single recurring contract. And then from here, you can begin either searching and bulk selecting perhaps all the different services that you want, one by one or by many. And then we give you the tally down the base. So a few lines here, but all of the 365 in this example is across 13 customers, 18 recurring contracts. We're reviewing 10 unique services, and there's 882 units out there that we're billing. Average unit price $34.88, and then this is the total revenue and average per client. The interface here, obviously, if you've seen here, this is has been enhanced, as well as the drop down on all the different clients that you can pick as well. We do still have this, similar to all the other areas of CloudOlive, where you can do a keyword search and it will bring back everything. So in this case, Power BI across 3 customers, 51 units. So to keep it here, it's going to automatically populate. So you should always have that information there ready to rock and roll. I've actually been using this quite heavily in its own tab, so I can bounce between the two as we're going. It's something that I've seen work well, and you may also. 2FA. So a number of our partners for some time actually have asked around some form of 2FA to enhance security, of course. So settings under security, 2FA enable, it'll ask for your password, and then this is for Google Authenticator, so the app that you can get on your phone. Scan the QR code, punch in that code, and then from that point on, 2FA will be enabled when logging in. Okay, so Refactor, we've been, the way that AudioTask reads and writes from the API for us, we were running billing cycles. So for those partners who have contracts that don't start and end kind of the entire month, so first to the end, some of our partners were needing to kind of use CloudOlive 1 month in advance so we could read backwards and give them the right information. You're able to now, we've added some extra logic now to recognize when there's a mid-month contract that's in place. So you will now be able to just simply use, if we're in April, use April. If we're in May, use May. Impact a small number of partners, but now it should be a far simpler experience for everyone. With the account warnings, so if we're looking at this here, this is indicating services that you were being billed for last month, which are now no longer there. Okay, so they've effectively been dropped off, and in theory should no longer be billing the customer for it. So if a line item such as the top one here, which has been linked in the past, you can now quickly, you can see the URL down the bottom. This is going to bounce you back into AudioTask, and you just quickly check to see that it has also now gone to 0 in the PSA. We believe that in the next couple of months or next month or so, we will also just elevate that information, save you even having to click through. But this will point you directly back into the contract, so you can quickly go and review to see if they're still there. Numbers above toggle. So very heavily used across the system, but now we're actually showcasing how many, if you toggle on this, what's in behind it. So you can see here, show us lines with comments. There's obviously 2 there. Show us lines with all the errors and discrepancies, which is very, very, very heavily used. And then, of course, if we pass on a cycle or hide on something indefinitely, then that's also just going to have a 1 and a 1, or whatever the numbers are that are living in behind there. Okay, this has been requested a fair bit. So vendor end user name Pizza Hut in this case. This is just a line item that's come across from the supplier. You can notice it now here. So when we're linking new lines and you click through and then you're like, what customer was I just working on? Now it's actually visible here. And then you can just select them. I need that a lot. Account visibility and contract service count. Okay, so at the accounts level, this is a list of all the different accounts that you've got in the PSA across all the different kind of statuses or types that you'll be well familiar with out of Autotask. What we've also added in here now is like the number of contracts and the number of services against it. So these are recurring services and recurring service contracts. And one of the reasons we added this in was just to ensure that the, like if you believe that the contracts are built and active and all the rest of it, because we may have different accounts that are customers as well as vendors and suppliers and all the rest of it. So this will just give you a real quick snapshot of the actual count that are there. More than open to receiving some feedback on what other info we can populate in here. First step towards dragging out more of that info and insight though. Color coding. Okay, so beforehand we had 6 different line items here, of which I think 2 or 3 of them were actually the same color. So a little bit hard to indicate what's what. We've removed the no status set, which is what it was there, and it's just going to default initially as not started when there's no file actually attached to it. In progress, reconciled, awaiting approval, and approved. So these different color codes, as you can see here, should make it a lot easier to have a quick reference of the different statuses and what you're working through there. An extra toggle. So back onto this screen here, you will notice whenever there are line items which do pick up that there are discrepancies, we're buying 22, we're only selling 15 here, so there's an error of 7. This toggle allows it, so if you jump into the PSA, make the adjustment or review, and are waiting for it to sync to come back through, we've added this concept here to go, you can toggle this. It's similar, I guess, in view, but it's not going to hide it. And this is just your way to know that you've looked at this and are happy with the status and the information that's there. So rather with the thought here was we had partners that were using it and then having phone calls come in and getting distracted and forgetting where they were up to. So this is just a really simple way that you can know exactly what's going on here. And this will stay like this indefinitely. Okay, so this is powered by you, and as and when the PSA syncs back through and maybe reverts back to 0, then naturally that toggle is going to disappear and you can have high confidence that everything's been done. So as always, thanks for your time. Thank you for your business and partnership, and do keep in touch. Would love any feedback, any way that we can improve both the communications going out to our partners as well as, of course, most importantly, building the greatest product for you to all use. All the best. Have a great day, and we can speak soon.